Yes, indeed, I'm standing with Honorable Francis Zaake. For the people of Mityana, he represents them for Mityana municipality. I want to understand whether he has received the money, whether he has heard about those who have received the money, that is 100 million, and for what purpose. But of course, we also want to know the source of this money, but also this matter came on the floor of Parliament yesterday. And the speaker then, who was in the House, of course he's the deputy speaker, but he was the presiding chairperson for the sitting, Right Honorable Thomas Taiwa, said that is street talk. I will not entertain that conversation. Honorable Francis Zaake, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, NTV, and the viewers out there. I'm Zaake Francis.
The people of Mityana would want to have a share of your 100 million. Have you gotten the money? Where is the money?
Well, all this began from a meeting that was called by the government chief whip, the Honorable Dennis Obua, in their caucus. So it is clear that in their discussions during the caucus that was chaired by Mr. Museveni himself, when they were discussing about the amendment of the UPDF Act, these MPs from NRM and some of your opposition, I remember the Honorable Cole was there also and was unveiled to be part of NRM. That was how things began. They began demanding for the money for passing the coffee bill, the controversial coffee bill, you remember. They began demanding for that money because previously they had been promised that money, 100 million. So when they were still discussing about the amendment in the UPDF Act, they still demanded for more money to make it 200 million.
And this is treated as an allegation, a wide allegation.
This is not an allegation because the person who's telling you that this is street talk was a former government chief whip. No, what do you expect? They have to defend themselves. And from time memorial, I can assure you that Parliament has never at any time accepted that it has received a bribe. And you know, Parliament is not independent, just like how the law indicates that Parliament is supposed to be independent. The executive is always using the legislature, which is wrong, which is something that we condemn, but that's what is happening in Parliament. So, whatever NRM MP that will ask any question about the 100 millions, they will not accept it. The reason being, they are even actually, they were promised more, 100 millions. In time to come, not even more than a month from now, they will receive another 100 millions.
You know, Honorable, what has been circulating for these past 2 days that, you know, yes, in fact, even from last week, that money was going to come, and then the past 2 days that money was given out from 2 points. But I want to understand from you as a member of Parliament, have you received the money? Have you received the call for the money? Have you heard about people who have, your colleagues in Parliament, who have testified in camera to you that, you know what, we got the money, or they were called to pick the money?
First and foremost, they cannot even try to reach me out because they know I will embarrass them, and not only embarrassing them, I will confront them in whatever way that is possible. They know me. They know me so well. In that, for me, even when I receive a gift from a person whom I know that one is not my friend, that one is an enemy to me, I will just throw it to them. They know that. So, I will assure you that money was received by several members of Parliament. And this is on record. This is not just a word, but this was even evidence from action.
How can you prove to the people of Mityana municipality and the entire country that yes, indeed, the money was distributed, and some members of Parliament, do you know of some that you can say, if I'm put to test, either in court or on the floor of Parliament, I can surely tell the country and the world that yes, indeed, these members of Parliament got money in illicit ways?
I can assure you, or first and foremost, something that I'm very sure of, all the NRM MPs, just name any NRM MPs, I'm ready even to be taken anywhere, to any disciplinary in Parliament, or even to any courts of law. I can even be there to assure the public, to assure any kind of court that money was received by all NRM MPs. That is a sure deal. And those other friendly NRM MPs, those who are friendly to the NRM from the opposition, received the money. Anyone whom you know that is aligning to NRM, the independents who are aligning to NRM, majority of them have received
Can you
the money.
confirm that there are also some members of parliament who belong to NUP, the party you belong to, that you can say, I know so and so who took the money?
I cannot have the evidence, but there is something
Because
that
what is there that even some members of opposition took the money?
Of course, that is sure deal. There are people whom we know from NUP, whereby they are not part of us, but they are just talking about being part of NUP, yet they are not with us. Because we condemn them about corruption scandals. Those ones, I'm sure. Those ones whom we condemned about corruption scandals, especially the likes of Kagabo, the likes of, there are so many, name them, so many of them, they have received the money. That is something I cannot be shy about, because I know how that parliament is behaving, how it does things. It has been like that all through. From the time I joined that parliament, it has been a parliament that rubber stamps what government wants. It is a clearing center, it is a dealing center, it's a corruption scandal parliament.
You know, you are blaming the parliament that you are part of, this house, the institution of parliament you are part of.
Yeah, most of us were embarrassed to be part of such a shame. Because if I'm a member of parliament and we see such acts happening, that's why for us we come up publicly to condemn it and not to just shy away from it. We talk about it the way it is. We shall not be here to tell the public that, you know, those are lies, that is not true. We are always clear and bold to say what is right and what is not right. That's why for us we believe that parliament is supposed to be part of the revolution. It's supposed to be revolutionized in the way that we are not supposed to just keep business as normal. We are supposed to destabilize it like the way the Tojuko Atako was. That's why I'm part of the people that believe that parliament, things should not just move on the way they are moving. A corruption scandal comes and then we sit normally as if everything is okay, yet it is not okay. It's the reason as to why, as the opposition, we have come up today to organize an opposition caucus, because that money passed from the NRM caucus. So as the opposition, we want to know which people took the money and those that did not take it. So in this meeting, those who do not come, we shall just know that is test number one, that those ones took the money. So the meeting is happening today in the next 30 minutes from now at Parliament. It's where I'm heading right now, to see those who are not coming, to see those who have come, and then we discuss that matter, and afterwards we come up with a press conference at 9:30 to tell the public what we think about that matter and how we're going to handle it.
You know, the acting leader of opposition right now, who is the chairperson of the members of parliament from Buganda, Honorable Mwanga Kivumbi, is the one who raised this matter on the floor of parliament, yet it wasn't on the paper. And then before the speaker dismissed it, we had seen the real leader of opposition, Honorable Joe Sonyon, coming up with such a statement that there is money being distributed. And later in the night, or in the late evenings, we see a video surfacing on social media of people walking into the chambers of parliament, precincts of parliament, they are parking late in the night. The video is circulating. Is it orderly? Is it in your kind of business that people go into parliament late in the night? Because this is also causing concern on social media. Honorable Joe Sonyonyi put it on the spaces, social media spaces, of people entering parliament late in the night, others carrying baskets, others carrying bigger bags. Late in the night, it says it is from parliament on Monday, 7th April. Is it your business? Is it your kind of way to enter parliament even late in the night to do business?
First and foremost, I'm not very surprised about that kind of night shift in parliament. Many times whenever there are some dealings that to happen in that parliament, they happen through the night, even during plenary. You know, whenever the media moves away around the evening time, around 5, 6, the media goes away from parliament. And until 8, 9, up to 10, whenever you see sittings happening in the night, just know there is something suspicious. So, on Monday night, there was no sitting. There was no plenary at all. And it's the reason as why we believe that act, that's when it happened. Because at a Monday night, what is really going on in parliament?
Because I'm sure the viewers are now seeing that video right now on air.
Yeah, that video, we believe that that's when a certain section of members of parliament, especially from the NRM. That's when they were receiving money from their leader of government business. That's where they were receiving it from, in that office. And some members were going to the speaker's house. This is the word that is on the street. But that word, I can assure you, it is true, because it's not the first time it has happened. It has happened several times. And this money has been given out in cash. Because when you move to parliament, even right now, and you move around the mobile money people around there in Nairobi, you will see all the money they are counting. It is all new notes, 50,000 notes. They are very new. And that is one example to show you that that's what is happening. Because as member, right now, no member of parliament has received a salary yet. As of now, the normal salary and allowances, no one has received as of now. This month, reason being, we are shifting to another quarter. So, as of now, any member of parliament having money, they're having those new notes, the 50,000 notes. So all of the voters out there, whenever you see a member of parliament giving you money, and that note is very new, just know that is part of the bribe.
And you inciting violence against your fellow colleagues in the house, because one could have picked the money from the bank.
This is taxpayers' money. Ugandans, this is our money. Please ask for that money from those members of parliament. They must give you that money. That is not an individual money. That money belongs to you. Ask for it. So whenever you see those members of parliament having that money, question them, where did you get this money?
You know what?
Especially from the NRM and some opposition MPs. Whenever that person has a new note, that is part of the bribe they received in parliament from Mr. Museveni, because we know the person who leads corruption in Uganda, and that's the person that gave out that money.
You know, if indeed this money is out there in circulation, members of parliament are getting it. One, who else is part of this money that got the money? But also, what is the real intention? What is the purpose of this money, if indeed it is out there and being distributed?
The purpose of this money, we believe, they are appreciating members of parliament, those who passed the coffee bill. You remember when some of us were beaten? An example of Shamim Marende, myself, and some others that were beaten from that parliament. They are appreciating them. I can assure you, our call is part of those who received the money on the back wall, because you know.
You're talking about Anthony Cole?
Yes, you know what he did to me. They are appreciating them for whatever that they did in that parliament, and several others that beat me up, because it was not only him. He began the fight, and then others followed. So this money is given to them to appreciate them about that coffee bill. It's an appreciation. But also to prepare ground for the UPDF Amendment Act to try civilians in the army courts. You remember, the court quashed that. So they want to return it to parliament. And when they return it, they are preparing ground, because they are going to be added another 100 million shillings, Ugandan shillings. So when that comes, in parliament, the moment you see they have tabled that bill, just be sure that also another 100 million is coming. Do not be surprised when you hear another rumor that money has been given out again, because this is not the last time. More money is coming to be given out to MPs in parliament the moment you're ready to be corrupt. Be sure whether you're from opposition, independent, NRM, that is an obvious case.
You know, Honorable, indeed, because for me, I haven't seen any member of parliament coming out on the media and say, hey, I have the money. Like, for example, the last time we had the Honorable Kagabo coming out and saying that, you know, I got the money, I picked it from speakers, from place A and B. But for this time around, I haven't seen any member of parliament coming out. If indeed the money is there, and indeed people are getting it, what does this say? What does this tell about our members of parliament, but also the institution of parliament that is supposed to be legislating and also taking the lead in a democratic governance of our country? What does it tell about you people?
Of course, first and foremost, this is a very evil thing about democracy, because it really beats all kind of understanding about democracy. Because if the bills are supposed to come to Parliament and they are supposed to be passed in a democratic way without giving out bribes, so it means that now Parliament is clearly a clearing center. It's a rubber stamp Parliament whereby we don't discuss things morally. It is really immoral. And then also it tells about our kind of the finances in the country.
It's a budgeting period.
Yes, a budgeting period, but the financial burden to the taxpayers, to the taxpayers, because Ugandans are very poor. We are supposed to handle the money in public. Is this how the state is supposed to handle money?
Should we have an independent audit of the House of Parliament on how business is done inside there? Should we have an independent audit?
The audit in that Parliament, I was leading one of the committees in the Commission of Audit, the subcommittee of Parliament in the Commission on Audit. When I asked those hard questions about the same things that happen in Parliament, you know what happened to me? They came up and alleged I abused the speaker on social media, and what happened to me? They removed me from the commission. So you cannot, even when you ask for an audit in that Parliament, it will not be given to you, because who is supposed to carry out the audits? The commissioners. And what the commissioners do in that Parliament? They gifted themselves money. So Ugandans are just on their own. This shows that Ugandans, they are on their own, and what we have to do is to carry out a revolution to all institutions of this government, but most specifically in State House, to make sure that we change leadership. The moment we do not do that as Ugandans, know that all the burden, all the financial burden is getting to you, because now you see the way money is being given out, you cannot expect that.
Okay, I remember in September 2017, during the time of Toji Kwatako, some members of Parliament picked some money, and indeed they acknowledged that they picked the money. And this was during the time of 2021 elections. Many of them lost, including ministers. What this coming during the time of politics and electioneering this time round, what would be the impact of the impact of the money in the constituencies? For example, Mityana municipality, one comes and has 1 million shillings, and also these members of Parliament, when they have this money, what will be the impact on the political season that we are in, but also in the house that where you sit? What will be the impact? Do you think that the money will be influencing decisions within their electorate?
Well, I'll tell you categorically clear that whenever such vices are coming up from a Parliament, where Ugandans expect to have all their hope, now they render Ugandans to be hopeless, not to have any kind of hope in their leaders. So if that kind of money is getting to the electorate, to the voters, meaning that there is no democracy, meaning that Ugandans gonna vote for people because they have given them money. That's not how things are supposed to be. It's supposed to be the other way around. People are supposed to vote their leaders in the way they know that things are.
Final words as we let you go.
So the final word that I'll let Ugandans know is that let's know that wrong is wrong, no matter who has done it. So let's make our leaders accountable. We have come out to tell you that members of Parliament have taken this money. The people you voted. So Ugandans out there, you voted for these members of Parliament, and they are coming to you to bribe you, to give you money. So if they come with that money, tell them, do not be shy, because you're their bosses. I'm a member of Parliament. I'm not your boss. I'm your worker. I'm supposed to represent you in Parliament. And if I'm supposed to represent you and I do not represent you and I just bring money to you, know that I'm not a leader, but I'm misleading you. So we have to let these people be accountable, and in being accountable, let us make sure that we tell them off. And after telling them off, we revolutionize this. We make sure that we change leadership so that we do not have leaders that behave in that immoral way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Francis Zaake from Mityana Municipality, Mityana District. And you know from here, he has already indicated he is moving to Parliament. They are having an opposition caucus, which is also going to be part of the other members of Parliament, but also no opposition leaders are coming to Parliament. They will be there to address the media after that opposition caucus on the way forward and what exactly transpired on Monday night, if indeed money was out there in circulation. Have you gotten your money? We shall